Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. So today I'll be showing you how to create this stunning simple website with just HTML and CSS. Yes, just HTML and CSS. So let's get started. So as you can see, we have our basic HTML file open here, and I'll have a CSS file also here. So go ahead and do our basic HTML templates. So I'm going to change my title to HTML, CSS websites. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my nav bar. So I have it written somewhere. So I'm just going to paste it here. So it's just a simple nav element that has the logo and 4 nav links. You can see each of these nav links. And of course, we have classes for our styling. So this is how it looks to run it. So this is okay. So let me just refresh this. So this is how it looks. So you have the logo, room, about, and say and our contact. So let's go ahead and style it. By the way, I'll be using Poppins. My font family will be from Poppins, and I got this from fonts from Google Fonts. So you can just go ahead to I'll be leaving the link to Google Fonts where you can just go ahead and use their custom built their custom built fonts for this. So let me go ahead and link my style.css. So I'm going to link it. Okay, that was a mistake. So link. So I'm just going to link my CSS file. And so let me just put this to the let me swipe it to the left. So I have this. So for my nav, for the entire page, I'm just going to remove the default padding and margin. So let me just do that. Default, so padding will be 0, margin 0, box sizing, box sizing, border box, and font family would be Poppins. So Poppins, and fallback will be sans serif. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and style each of these elements, starting from line 10. So for my navbar, I'm going to give it a position fixed. Change the background color to black. So it's not going to be like our normal black. So this is like very black. 1B, 1A. Okay. So I'm going to give it a width of 100%, a height of 100 ph. Oh, sorry. So it's the half right. I don't need the height of 100 ph. So I'm just going to use the padding to determine the height. So padding of 10 pixel and 0 pixel left, right. And since it's position fixed, I want any other element that is going to come after it to be below it. So it will have a higher Z index. So the Z index is going to be 12. So I'm going to give it a Z index of 12. So let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks for now. So let's just go ahead and start our line 11. That's our menu. So that's the class name. So menu. We're going to give it a margin of all blue. All blue. Display flex. Line item center. Justify content. Space between. Then give it a padding. Top bottom to be 0 and left right to be 20 pixel. So let's see how it looks. So this is what we have now. You can see it's the display flex that developed this. So let's handle each of, so we are going to line 12 now. So that will be dot logo. So text decoration to be none. Give it a color of white. FF. Font size of, it's going to be a logo. So you can decide to put an image instead of a text. So I just have the text logo there. So you can decide to use an image instead. So if you use an image instead, you don't need to give it a font size and font weight. Just give the image a max width of 100%. And of course, the size of and how big you want the image to be. That will be the width, the actual width. You could do 12 pixel, 13 pixel, 14 pixel, anyhow you want it to be as big as. So that's what I'm going to put. So give it a font width of 600. So let's see how that looks. So you can see we are getting a shape present. We are almost there. So that's the logo. So but we need to remove this default styling that comes with our a tag. So I was going to handle that. So I'm going to do UL. So for each of, so for line 15 UL, so let me just like call, so since the UL is under my menu class, so let me just say that menu UL. So it does not affect any UL. I'm going to have it down in the code display inline flex. Okay, and we have to handle each of these li elements. So let's just say that menu ul li. So we're going to give it a list type of none, and margin left of 7 pixel. Okay, let's see how that looks. So getting there gradually. Okay, so the next we are going to do is we are going to select all the E tag, all the links, the anchor tags here, and just handle how they appear. So I'm just going to do dot menu UL, starting with the one for the list first. So I'm going to give text decoration none. Give it a color of white. Font size of, let's use it to make it a little bit big. It's in padding, some padding. So top, bottom will be 8 pixel padding. So top, bottom is 8 pixel and left, right will be 15 pixel. Give them a border radius of 5 pixel. So we'll be doing some over. That is where the border radius will show. So we'll be hovering over it for the border radius to show. So we're adding a little bit of transition. So 0 points. Let's do 4 seconds. Then behavior should be ease. Okay. So let's see how it looks. So okay. So you wouldn't see the border yet because we've now done the over effect. So let's just do that. So I'm just going to grab this. So this is like this. So here I'm going to give it a pseudo class of over. Then I want the background to be white. Whenever it's over, I want the background to be white. And I want the color to be black. Okay. So yep. So can you see that? Can you see that the border radius is also showing too? And you can see the effect of the transition. Let me show you. So if I increase the transition to, let's say, 8. Can you see that it takes like about 8 seconds before you see? Wait, so this is it here. Can you see how it's coming in? So that's the transition, but I think 4 is better. So let's just do it 4 seconds. Okay, so as you can see, we are almost there. Um, so for the logo parts, just the logo that is still with it. So let's start. So let's see. Oh, I did not select the anchor tag for it. So let me I just selected the parent without giving all of this property to the child. So let me just put the tag here. And let's see. So it's fixed. So it's fixed. So we have our nav bar ready. So our nav area is ready. So for the center parts, so for the center, I have the structure defined somewhere. So I'm just going to grab it and like put it here. So you can see we have a div port center. It has a title, has a title, it has a subtitle, and has 2 buttons. So I'm going to start styling it. So we have our center, which will have a background of an image that will be gotten from an external source. So, and I do not want the background to repeat. So let me just put that repeat. And this is the URL. So you can decide to fetch an image from your folder. So you can have an image folder here and just import it with your URL over here. So I'm going to give it, so it's going to have a background position of center. Going to have a background position of center. Then background size. I want the size to cover. So I'm going to give the background size of cover. The width of this div is going to be 100%, and the height is going to be 100 ph. I want it to extend to full width of my screen. So I'm going to do 100 view height. And I'm going to give it a display of flex. I want every item there to the flex direction to be column because I want them to stack on top of each other. Then I'm going to do justify content center, align items center. Okay, so let's see what we have. So yeah, so this is what we have. So this is what we have presently. So we'll start styling each of these elements. So for my title, I'm going to give it a background, a color of white. So dot title, I'm going to, that's line 24. Give it a color of white. Give it a font size of 52 pixels. 52 pixels. And increase the font weight to 600. So let's see how it looks. Okay, so this is looking like it's gradually. So for line 25, that is my subtitle class. Don't forget to take class. So I'm going to also give it, so let me just copy all of this and change just the font size. Control V. Let's see how it looks first. It's okay. So, but let me make the one at the top bigger than the one at the bottom. So let me make this 55 pixel. Yeah. So it's remaining our buttons. So we have to style our buttons. So for our buttons, you can see their spacing here is quite small. So I'll start by giving it a margin top. So the class name that is housing the buttons is .btn. So I'm going to give it a margin top of 20 pixel. So let's see how that looks. Okay, spacious enough. So I'm going to give it a height. So I'm going to start styling each of the buttons now. So I'm going to start styling each of the buttons. Buttons, button. Give it a height of 55 pixel. Give it a border radius of 5 pixel. Okay, let's see how that looks. It's looking good. It's looking good. Guys, please do not forget to subscribe if you've watched up to this point. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and turn on your notification bell for more videos like this, because we'll be having more of these videos coming subsequently. So give it a margin of 0 at the top and bottom, then 10 pixel left to right. So I'm going to do a border of, I'm doing the border radius already. So I'm just going to do border of 2 pixel solid whites. Okay. The width of 170 pixel. Font size should be 20 pixel. Padding should be 0 pixel top bottom, padding 0 top bottom, and 10 pixel left right. So let's see how that looks. Wow, it's coming up nice. It's coming up nice. So we need to add some over effects on the buttons. But first, the button, so you should have a cursor effect. So the cursor should be a pointer. So if you try clicking it, can you see you have a pointer now? Okay, so let's just do some overing effects. So we are going to select each of the buttons for the over effect. So I'm going to use first child and second child. So let's do a pseudo class of first child. So that the first child refers to the first element under this class name, like this button. So this button has this first child called login, and the second element there is sign up. So here I'll give it color of white and a background color of none. Don't forget that the border is white, 977. So it's going to have a color of white, a background color of none, but the border is going to be white. So let me show you what that means. Okay, so the background color should be none, not background color. So background should be none. So can you see does not have any background, but the border color still remains. So for the second, okay, let's do an overing effect. Also, I want to add a transition to this. So it's not just vague. So I'm going to add a transition of 0. I'll transition for 0.3 seconds, and to behavior is going to be this. So if you try, can you see? So let me do the overing so you see the effect of the transition. So let me just copy this, the over. I want the background to be white whenever it's moving. So background will be white. The background that was known before changed to white and the text to be black. So this will be FF. The color would be black. So black is 000. So can you see the effect of the transition? It's easing in, it's easing in. Can you see? So let's handle for the second child. So for the second child, I'm going to, it's actually the last child. So we don't have more than, we have just two, the first and the last. So we're just going to do dots. So let me just copy this and last child. So for the last child, we'll be giving it a background color of white also. Background of white. Color should be black. And I want a special transition here. So the transition name is transform. And to run for 0.3 to come in at 0.3 seconds, and the behavior will be is. Okay, so let's define our transform when we are trying to over. So we see the effect of the transition. So last child over. So we're going to our transform is going to skew. Want it to skew 0.9. Finish 0.9. So let's see. Yep. Can you see how cool it is? So we've been able to build a simple HTML and CSS website. Thank you so much for watching this video. The link to the source code for this project will be in the description box below. Please do not forget to subscribe. Your subscription goes a long way in keeping this channel running. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you can get first-hand notification of whenever I upload more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.